So in this video, I'm going to explain a simple process to channel or to change your port at which you're outputting your project. So for example, in this project, we're going to be outputting at port 880, but we are imagining at the same port, there is another file or project that is actually running on the same port at 880. So actually, this is another project, which is this here, and it tells you that it's now outputting at port 880. And then if you look at our port, which is here, also trying to output at this project of ours is also trying to output at port 880. So at one point they have to clash, or it has to bring an error that the port, you can see port 505 is in use, not starting the debug mode, and finally it will show that port 880 is being used by another application. You can see this port 880 seems to be from here seems to be in use by another process. So what does that mean? There's another application that is already running on port 880, so you can't run the same another application on the same port, so you will not be outputting your project or deploying your project if the port that you have by default is being occupied by another system or another software running on that port. So you have to change the port. So how do you change the port? By going to, let me first terminate, go to your resource files, go to your application properties here, click on the application properties. It's normally empty, but you're going to add a few lines of code here. So let's start with hashtag configuration. configuration file, then enter another hashtag. You add another hashtag that says key is equal to value, and then you press enter. Then now you go ahead and assign the port, which is Quarkus dot http dot port. Then you say port is equal to, now you give it a port, now you assign a port. Remember they said port 880 is in use by another application, so this time you want to assign a port, probably a different port like 881. You can now output it at port 881. So go ahead and add a few more lines. Quarkus dot http dot course is equal to true. I will be obeying that and outputting that as that file. If at all it finds the default being 880 being occupied, it will have to output at 881, which is set in its application property. We have Quarkus dot http dot host, and the host will be equal to 0.0.0.0. I think that's enough. So with this, you are sure that automatically you will be so now we are going to run our project again, and it must output at port 881. This time it shouldn't throw any error, should be just outputting at port 881. Since port 881 is not busy, oh boy, we still have an error, port 500 being occupied. What does it say? Okay, but finally it brings a project, and finally it is output, and it is listening at port 881. So when you click at port 881, automatically you will have your API running. But just like I said, remember in the first video we added Swagger, so I might want to see this in Swagger, but still in port 881. So that's why you see, that's why we have the greeting resource API and the hello the hello endpoint, and when you click on the execute hello from resteasy, you can see it's still working. So this is how we change our ports. Previously, remember, we were outputting at port 880, so we changed it successfully to port 881. Don't forget this code. Probably I can include it in a description. This is a simple code. Just copy it and include it in your applications properties, and you will be good to go. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.